I'd like to introduce to you at this time a sister who is full of wisdom, who can guide us and help us to understand the principles of religion, understand ourselves, understand the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and help us to understand Minister Louis Farrakhan. That sister is Sister Tanetta Muhammad. Please let us receive her with a round of applause.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. My dear beloved brothers and sisters who are gathered here in this beautiful mosque, renamed through the inspiration and divine guidance of Minister Farrakhan, Mosque Maryam, after the mother of Jesus, given to the black people, man and woman, here in the wilderness of North America as a very special, symbolic meaning that is now being fulfilled in the last stages of the judgment of this world. I would like to share with you for a very few moments, beginning with the chapter 17 that is in the book of Numbers. It speaks about the arrangement of events from the very opening of Numbers, of how the children of Israel were guided out of Egypt under the guidance of Moses and his brother Aaron. There has arisen throughout our communities here and there a group of dissenters, a group of, I would say, rebellious people who do not have a clear knowledge and understanding of the divine work and mission of Minister Louis Farrakhan. Let it be understood by all who are listening this afternoon in the example that is given in the 17th chapter of Numbers, when all those who were in rebellion and thought that they should be the chief, or that they should be the head one, or that they should be the spokesperson or the spokesman, there was a little trial or a test that was given in the eyes and the ears of the people to this kind of rebelliousness. When Almighty God, Allah, chooses a man, chooses a person and a messenger of God, he chooses that person by a standard of judgment that is not given to the common understanding of man. So we may judge through a variety of ways of what we think is the standard or the reason why such and such a person should be chosen to give divine or spiritual leadership. Such a controversy rose among the people of Muhammad 1400 years ago. They thought that somebody more intellectual, somebody that was more in the upper class, perhaps in politics, perhaps among the leaders of the Quraysh, who were the representative people of Muhammad, that someone like that should have been chosen. But God, in his divine wisdom, makes our thinking and our thoughts like foolishness in his eyes. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad stood in this very mosque, in this very pulpit, where we will soon see and hear our Minister Farrakhan preach this afternoon, he called forth in the hearing and in the witnessing of the people one man, and made a distinction, a discrimination, and chose Minister Farrakhan to sit in the chair where he now sits. And he reluctantly took that chair because all the ones that God has ever chosen never seek that kind of position of leadership, because it is the worst job that anyone could be given, because you cannot choose it for yourself. When Minister Farrakhan Muhammad was chosen by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he told all of us to listen to him and to follow exactly what he tells you to do, because he will not be speaking of himself, but he will be speaking of the words of Almighty God Allah, because he would be backed not only by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but by the power of Almighty God Allah himself. So when we hear the words coming from Minister Louis Farrakhan, it is the words of one crying in the wilderness to seek and to save and to redeem a people in the absence of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Notice that I said in the absence of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We have come now 14 years in the absence of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the work of Minister Louis Farrakhan. If we go back to the early history of the beginning of the teachings of the Nation of Islam in America by Master Fard Muhammad, we will find that we are repeating a history that took place in those early 1930s. When Master Fard Muhammad chose the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to be his spokesperson, to be his supreme minister, to be the one in charge that we came to know as Dear Holy Apostle, there arose a rebellion in the ranks of the laborers and the officials and among those who said that they believed. But through the wisdom of Master Fard Muhammad, he left words written in black and white to prove to us that he is none other than whom the Honorable Elijah Muhammad represented him to be, and that is God in person. He looked down the line of time and he saw us today rising up for a second time with the same spirit of rebellion against the choice of Minister Louis Farrakhan in this day and time. And the end then is the same that the end will be today for all those who rise up in rebellion against Almighty God Allah's choice of a divine spokesman for us today. Do you see any other leader rising up here in America and dealing with the severe problems that are besetting our communities, who is bold enough, who is fearless, who is brave enough to speak directly to the United States government with a warning, the same kind of warning that Moses and Aaron spoke into the ears of Pharaoh? But what was this test that I'm referring to in the 17th chapter of Numbers? It was a chapter dealing with a test that God provided for those who thought that they should be the one. He asked each of them, including Korah, to bring their rods. And you know, a rod is great magnetic power if you understand what a rod is. The earth itself is shielded in a magnetic field. And we have an axis that goes through our earth as it rotates around the sun, and we have a magnetic north and a magnetic south pole. Is that right? That acts like a rod that gives us a plane of leverage of motion as we make our move around the sun. There is magnetic energy in the electricity that is in the sun. There is electric magnetic energy that is all around us in the atmosphere. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, everything that was created out of darkness has fire in it, magnetic power in it. So this rod became an instrument by which plagues were brought into the land of Egypt. So who had power to bring plagues? Was it a man? No, it is not any man. It is Almighty God, Allah, and He chooses one that has the magnetic power and the energy to conduct just the right effect of the word that should be sounded at a particular time for the redemption and the salvation and the delivery of a people not back 4,000 years ago, but a people who are going to be delivered today by the rod that is in the hand of Minister Farrakhan. And it is this rod, only Aaron's rod, that budded and then produced blossoms. That means that he was able to get first fruit converts from among the people. So all those who went in rebellion will be like those of the house of Korah. They went down in a great earthquake, and we never heard of them anymore. So let us listen to the words of Minister Farrakhan, because the days in America and the days in this world are dark and gloomy, and there is no answer but the answer of a divine solution coming from Almighty God, Allah, through one whom He has chosen. Not the people have chosen, but Almighty God, Allah, has chosen. So let us fix our minds, our hearts, and our ears intently on every word coming from Minister Louis Farrakhan Muhammad.